Welcome to Daily Trades by Ren. My name is Ren, and today is 7/31/2026. Again, that's July 31st, 2026. Um, what happened to me today? What happened to me today? Check it out, guys. I am in position again. I pretty much did what I did yesterday. This time I got 6 contracts. Um, okay, let me tell you what happened yesterday and how it turned out for me. Okay, so yesterday I had a expiring contract. Um, I scaled it. I didn't want to scale it. Like my whole goal was not to scale, right? Because I didn't want to play big, and I couldn't. My whole goal was to take small profits so I can not blow my account, right? Um, but the cool thing is, something happened, right? I realized that I still wouldn't blow my account while scaling. So this was an accidental situation where I scaled and I was able to do it without costing me a lot of money. So, which it turned out well because I did the same thing again today, right? So I was able to get 6 contracts, right? And I'm going short again um, for the opening of on Monday, right? So it expires on Monday. And okay, what happened to me yesterday was I uh, I couldn't read the there wasn't much of a pattern, or I couldn't see anything yesterday. I did see something here and there, right? And then towards the end, I started seeing an ascending wedge, right? And it was this one right here. And I told you, um, I saw it the whole day. The thing was, I caught my position to go to take a short because I was trying. I was I called it wrong, and I like I said yesterday, I knew it was a bullish day because of the pre-market, right? Today, it's the same thing happened, but it wasn't supposed to be a bullish day, right? Because, well, I'll explain. It's a give and take. You know what I mean? I sensed that it was going to be a bullish day, but the pre-market didn't reflect it. So then I bet against it again, right? So that's why I'm in the same position as I am yesterday. So yeah, this is yesterday's graph, and what happened was I took a position to go short, and then I could have pulled out and made the money, but then when it started moving up, you know, I was reluctant to pull it out because that switch over was too quick, and I didn't see much profit. So then I was like, let me see if it'll come back down, right? Maybe it needs to retest or something. So, but it didn't, right? And then it revealed itself to be an ascending wedge. So then, with the ascending wedge, I noticed towards the end, it bulled on me. I mean, it went up, right? And that's what an ascending wedge does. It'll shoot up. And even overnight, because I watched it all night yesterday, right? It kept doing the same thing. It kept like pushing up further and further and further, right? It just kept on pushing up, right? And I almost had lost hope for me to get any gains from my 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 position that I took overnight. Fortunately, towards uh, the last hour, actually. So the interesting thing is, right? It got to the last 4 hours, right? Normally, to look at the pre-market, you look at the 5 o'clock, 5 a.m., right? And this is pretty much pre-market for, I believe, pre-market. I can't remember when pre-market starts. Pretty sure pre-market starts like at 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning or something. I'm not sure, but I mean 5 a.m. the last 4 hours, right? Pretty much it'll go all the way through to uh, 9 a.m. right? But um, yeah, 5 a.m. right? I'm nowhere close to like to my gains in the morning, right? I probably what I mean, like I probably like um lost more money, right? Because I had spent, I believe, like 160 building up the contract, right? To get like 6 or 7 contracts, right? and remember, I was collateralized for $700, right? Which means at the you know um, yeah. So they gave me the rest, and I had to fork up the difference on the discounted contract, right? So yeah, it was about 160, and then the rest was the rest, right? Which was about what, five 540, right? So check this out, right? So at 5 o'clock, right, I was like, dude, I'm gonna lose that 160, right? Right. So at six at at 6:30, guys, right? It did this weird U-turn, shot all the way up, right? And mind you, I'm watching it. I'm watching it shoot up all the way at 6:30, right? And then by by 6:35, right, it came back down to where this low point was, which is 550, right? And then I was like, okay, we're golden, right? And even at that point, right, wherever this low point is, um, at about 742, and I need to go to 738, right? So, I mean, even right here, I probably, break even. You know what I mean? Meaning that I will lose one, break even. Yeah, I will lose 160. Remember, right? Because I lost 160, right? And then when for me to make my money back, right? Because I have to pay 160 to roll over the contract for for today, so for expiration today, right? And so I had to clear it, right? Actually cleared it all the way to the bottom, guys. Which is I went all the way. I cleared it at 739, right? My contract was 738, right? So 739 gave me it was like, if I look at the receipt here, it was like 400 something, 430 dollars or something like that, right? So basically, um, yeah, basically I profited it about 160. So I was able to pay myself back and then profit that 160, which pretty much I broke even, right? Because I was already, my whole account was already, um, like I told you guys, right? I 3x my account, right? Which was about 550, right? So right now I went back to 550, right? But then I'm in position again. So right now I'm only at about, I believe I'm probably like 430 right now, or 480. I don't know. Let me see. Um, yeah. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm about 480 right now, right? So I did the same thing. I did the same thing, guys. Um, right now I'm about 160 again because I did a so okay for today, right? I took a contract. This is how I took the contract, right? So I closed out that contract, right, which I was able to break even from yesterday, right? Um, and then I got back in. So I pulled out right here. Then I got back in, and I was gonna go short, right? And the reason why I was gonna go short is because I already seen this bullish movement. I'm so stupid, right? I already seen this bullish movement, right? But then I was like, you know what? We had we had this, and mind you, so from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, that's when you're supposed to get your range, the pre-market range, right? And that's like from here at the bottom, right here, 6:30. So it's probably right here somewhere, 6:30. It's hard to draw, but yeah, I'll just do that. And then yeah, so that's the range is only like $3 or $4, guys. You know what I mean? Very 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 small range, right? And so I was like, man, um, yeah. So it presented itself to be a short, what you call it? I suppose a rally downward, right? And then on top of that, we got this movement right here, which is supposed to solidify the bearish movement, right? So, I mean, you can't say it wasn't bearish because it is. It did. Every time it went up, it went down, right? So, but then as soon as so I was trying to take it, and I was going, I think I took it right up here somewhere, right? Because this went down, this went back up, and I figured, well, yeah, I'm just take this one back down. But then, it started to do this little. this little ascending wedge type of scenario, right? And then when it's ascending wedge, every time it pumps, every time it breaks out, it start going up, right? Break out, start going up, right? So you get that ascending wedge all over the place, even right here too. You know what I mean? So it kept breaking out upward, right? And I was like, ah, dang, you know what I mean? So then it just kept, adding more contracts, right? So it ended up with 6. You know what I mean? Even to the end of the day, which is um, 1, right? Um, yeah, like the last 2 minutes, I added another contract because literally it was only like $10, right? But the cool thing was, I started the contract at 30, 39. Right now I have it at 40, 40, 41. So it literally only, since it's crashing right now, I only have like less than $4 to for me to get back into my position, right? So if it crashed all the way down on Monday, I should be able to take the whole bucket, the whole bag, um, or most of it. You know what I mean? Depending how far it goes. If it goes like to 35, I'm golden. If it goes to 38, I'm golden. You know what I mean? Like, um, at the beginning of the day, take it out, right? But yeah. So the only reason why I like it's so when I did it a while back, right? I haven't stocked in a long time. You know what I mean? But I got back into it because you know I don't really care about money, right? But I think the world presents itself like like that's what you need, right? To hold some sort of weight in society, right? Especially amongst your peers. And like, come on, bro. You're talking to a genius, right? You know what I mean? People try to criticize me, bro. Like, you're talking to a genius, bro. I'm a genius, right? There's nothing I can't figure out. I'm just like, I'm being too boastful. But yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I got 6 contracts, right? I mean, my intention wasn't to 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 show so much, but since I'm doing it anyways, you know what I mean. And it's a part of my thing that you know, and I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here um to boast or anything like that, or to show off or anything like that, right? What I'm here to do is, you know what I mean? Like, I watch a lot of mentoring videos and where these guys show their highlights, right? And they're just showing you, well, you draw this and you draw that and you do this and you do that, and you wait for this candlestick and that candlestick, the candle that, whatever, right? And and they're making you do detailed work without giving you proper understanding of what you need to do. What you got to really understand, okay, this is a tip, guys, is learn how to use the tools, right? Because if you don't know how to press your button, everything's on time, right? If you're not timely with this kind of stuff, right, you're gonna miss out. You know what I mean? Forget being FOMO. You're just gonna do it wrong. You're gonna press the wrong button. And you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. You know what I mean? Like, and then you have to learn how to read this stuff, right? This is reading, right? Someone was saying like, oh, um, it's so easy. This is all the same thing. It's not all the same thing. You know what I mean? The reason why um, certain things turn out the way it turns out, right? You know what I mean? You have to calculate. It's like you have to be in sync with it because it's moving, right? One, you have to be in sync with it because it's moving. Two, you have to calculate distances, and distances um, uh, require you to take account time, right? You know what I mean? What's the distance? Um, like when you're driving a car to get somewhere, right? It's miles per hour, right? Same thing with this, right? What's the difference between this value and that value with time, right? Because unless you're just trading equity and you have all the time in the world, right? But when you're doing contracts or you're doing any of these um, spot ETF, you know what I mean? Perpetual trading accounts, right? Or trading applications. Time don't wait for nobody. It will expire and it will, and you'll lose value. You know what I mean? And that's the issue, guys. That's the issue. Yeah, you learn whatever you need to learn. You know what I mean? Like, but don't do it in a gambling type of way. Everything has to be educated, right? So the way I like make sure, because you gotta make sure you don't break your bank. You gotta make sure you don't blow your account. Right? The only way to not blow your account is don't use everything. You know what I mean? And that's what I had to learn, right? Because you get to the point where you're just like, I'm all in. I'm all in. You know what I mean? It's like you're playing poker at the casino, bro. You're all in. But you don't know how many times I did that to myself. I'm all in. when you're all in, it takes one move or one mistake, and you're done. You know what I mean? And especially, let's say you get a funded account and you're all in. Just make sure it's not something you have to owe back. You feel me? Like, but anyways, yeah. So that's it for me today, guys. Again, my name is Ren. Thanks for joining me on Daily Trades by Ren. Today is 7/31/2026. Have a good day, y'all. Peace.